Okay, so it's 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, or 7 p.m. British Standard Time, I guess that's what they call it now. And I'm going to tell you a great story that has a really important point. Susan, if you're listening, this one runs a little long, but it's worth the time and worth the effort. Trust me. Many years ago, like all of these things begin, after I quit my job at CBS, where I was a producer for Sunday Morning, and got my little camera, and before I actually started this job, I was lost. I didn't know what I was doing. Everybody thought I was crazy, and maybe I thought I was crazy myself. I was lucky enough to get a call from a guy named Reese Schoenfeld, who was at Time Warner. Reese had been the first president of CNN. He'd actually built CNN, and after his tenure was over, they took him in and they gave him an office. And so I guess they needed something for him to do. And CNN, Time Warner was going to launch a brand new cable channel called Twins, Time Warner News Service, right? It was going to be a business channel, like Fox Business News, and it was going to go 24 hours and follow the stock exchanges around the world. 8 hours in New York, 8 hours in London, 8 hours in Tokyo, 24 hours. It actually made a lot of sense. Before you can launch a cable channel like that, you have to free up like a couple of $100 million from the board of Time Warner so you can launch it. And so to get the money, they'd hired Reese, so they'd assigned him with the job of making a 5-minute demo reel. You know what this looks like? 2 anchors, some music, 3 pieces, and this is what it's going to look like. And then you show that to the board, and they go, okay, here's the checkbook, and go make the thing happen. So as I understood it, they gave Reese a budget of $350,000 to make this demo reel. And Reese called me up and said, would you like to make the demo reel? I'll pay you $3,500. Well, I was unemployed, and if I could have hired somebody for $350, I would have kicked it down, but I was at the bottom of the video food chain. So I said, sure. So I went over to see Reese at the offices of Time Life, Time Warner, over here on 6th Avenue, and he said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 anchors, we're going to have the desk, we're going to have the music, all that stuff, and then I want to do 3 business pieces. And the first business piece, I want you to go to Bahrain and do a story about the oil business. OPEC was very big then, and I said, great, fine, you know what, whatever you want to do, I'll do it. And he said, I want you to stop in Rome, and I want you to hire Mario Biasetti. He's the best cameraman in Europe. I'm going to say, I'm going to shoot this myself. I didn't know what I was doing. So I said, whatever you want. So I flew to Rome, and I met this guy, Mario Biasetti, who he'd recommended, and he was like this, you know, little Italian, I mean little, I'm only 5'6", he was shorter than I was, this little Italian cinematographer, and he had the beret and gray hair, and he'd been around forever, and he also had this giant Betacam, and he had a very cute 22-year-old assistant. I don't know what she did. But anyway, the 3 of us flew off to Bahrain, and I'd made all the arrangements, so we landed in Bahrain, and I got a 1-day shooting permit from the kingdom, or the Amirship, or whatever the hell they call it, of Bahrain, to go to all these places and shoot all this stuff to make my little 1-minute and 20-second story about the oil business. So we all went to the hotel, and some 5-star hotel, and the next morning we got up and we went to the waterfront in Bahrain, and you know, as a producer, I saw all the stuff I wanted. There were the Arab, the tankers were coming in over here, and these little Arab down sailboats over here, and these guys with the white thobes, you've seen them, and the women with the thing like this, and the muezzin going like, Allah Akbar. It was all great, and I thought, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that. And Mario was there with his giant Betacam, a giant camera on a tripod, but he wasn't behind the camera, he was standing next to it. And he was doing like this, you know, going like this. And, you know, they call this the Hollywood squares. And I thought, all right, you know what? The guy's an Italian cinematographer. I'm going to give him his run, let him go. They paid him a fortune, so what do I know? And so, you know, he stood there and he moved the camera a little this way, and then he moved the camera, he's going like this, he's going like this, but he never hit the record button, which started to drive me crazy. So in about 20 minutes, I go, yo, Mario, come on, man. Let's go. We got a lot of stuff to do today. And Mario turned to me and he went, Calma, just like that. Calma. He's Italian. So, you know, I'm not a very calm person to start with, and I got a whole day to go. And he's about 20 minutes goes by, he still hasn't recorded any video. He hasn't shot anything. And now I'm starting to get annoyed. I go, Mario, move and roll tape, Mario. Come on, Mario, roll tape. And Mario goes, Calma. Calma, just like that. And so now I'm getting really annoyed. And finally, after about 20 or 25 minutes of doing this, and moving the camera a little here, and moving the camera a little here, finally hits the record button, and he rolls off like 15 seconds worth of stuff, and he stops. Then he moves the camera about 5 feet or 10 feet over this way, and he starts to do the same thing again, like this. Move the camera this way, move the camera. But the guy never records anything. Well, if you don't record anything, you don't have anything. So go, Mario, roll tape, Mario. And he turns to me and goes, Calma, just like that. His assistant, the chick, she's sitting over there, she's smoking a Chatain, she read Elle magazine, she's drinking coffee, she didn't give a crap about any of this stuff. So I'm really, like, making me crazy. Roll tape, Mario! Calma, calma, calma. We finish there and we go to the next place, and no matter where we go on Bahrain, which is not that big, he's always doing this stuff, and he's never recording anything. And no matter how much I scream at him and yell at him and physically beat him on the back, roll tape, Mario, he refuses to roll tape until he's absolutely positively ready. This is a disaster as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, we have a 12-hour permit from the time the sun went up until the sun goes down. And screaming at him the whole time, he refuses to roll tape. He just keeps doing this and looking for great shots. Finally, the sun goes down. It's the end of the day. We spent the whole day. My permit has expired. And this guy has shot one 20-minute video cassette. That's all he's got for the entire 12-hour day, not to mention flying from New York, picking him up in Rome, paying his exorbitant fees, getting the limo that he demanded, the 5-star hotel, bringing his girlfriend along, and all I got now to go back to Reed Schoenfeld with is this one stupid tape. And this is killing me, because here was my big chance to get on the ground floor of the next CNN, be the first hire, and I had messed the whole thing up. And I was flying back to New York, and I'm like, oh man, this is my first assignment, my first job, and I messed the whole thing up. And so, I go back to New York and I can't sleep, and I'm up early the next morning, and what am I going to do? So I go over to the Time Life building, which used to be here on 6th Avenue, and I'm going to go see Reese, and I'm going to just throw myself at him and say, you hired this guy, this is your fault, calma, 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 and all I got is this one stupid thing. I mean, what kind of moron flies 12,500 miles, blows through $8,000 or $10,000, $20,000 of somebody else's money, and comes back with one stupid tape? I would fire myself if I were running the thing. So I knew I had blown this enormous opportunity. I had nothing to lose. So I go into the office at 9 o'clock, and I bring a little cup of coffee, and there's Reese Schoenfeld. He's a very big, like a moose of a man, a giant guy. And he looks at me, and he sees me come back, and he goes, how did it go? And I went, it was terrible. Mario Bassetti's an idiot. Calma, calma, calma. All we shot is one tape the whole time, and the guy's a moron. I don't know why I hired him. It's not my fault. I did the best I could. And he looks at me and goes, have you looked at the tape? And I go, I hadn't looked at the tape, because in those days, you had to bring a separate playback deck to go with the beta camera, and I didn't have the playback deck, so I hadn't looked. I don't have to look at the tape. The guy is an idiot. We were there the entire time. We went all over the country. All he shot was this one stupid tape for me. You never should have hired him. I don't know where you got his name from. And Reese turns to me and goes, let's look at the tape. So he takes the tape, and he puts it in the playback deck, which is in his office, and he hits the play button, and let me tell you something. Every shot was perfect. Perfect. Beautiful. I mean, amazing. And one beautiful shot after the next, after the next, after the next. And if we had gone with P.F. Bentley or Bob Christ to go into a National Geographic photo, one of these coffee table books, giant books of the beauty of Bahrain, that's what we would have gotten. The stuff was absolutely unbelievable, and it was shot after shot after shot. And so the most difficult thing I had to do after that was to go into the edit and take this 20 minutes of absolutely stunning stuff and cut it down to 1 minute 30, which was painful, because it meant losing, all these beautiful shots. And so I learned the most important lesson, don't move the camera. The next most important lesson for great filmmaking, which I carry with me to these days, and I still shoot stuff, and that is calma. Calma, that's the one word, Rav. Calma. Because what happens is, when you go into any shooting situation, people get hysterical. Oh, I'm going to miss this, we have to get that, what about this, what about that? And there's kind of this mass hysteria that any filming situation involves. And the trick to success in making great films and great video is calm down. Relax. The ratios are very low. I mean, you don't need all that much stuff, but what you need is perfect. At the end of the day, maybe you put a minute, maybe you put 2 minutes, maybe you put 5 minutes. Most people in this business shoot these crazy shooting ratios. I mean, in feature films, 600 to 1, 500 to 1. It's a waste of time. And instead of getting hysterical and shooting every stupid thing 1,000 ways, the best thing you do, like Mario, is take your time, find the perfect shot, relax. Everybody's afraid they're going to miss things. When we go out and shoot, I tell the people that work for me, I want you to miss almost everything. But the few things I want you to get, I want absolutely, positively, perfectly. So 4,000 to 1 on discovery, says Rob. I believe that's probably true. It's a total waste of time and money, and also it gets confusing. You lose focus. So here's the deal that I learned from Mario a long time ago. Mario, if you're still around, thank you very much. And that is Calma. Take a deep breath, relax, look around, and don't roll tape. Don't shoot anything. Don't roll tape, or tape is an anachronism. Don't roll card until you know exactly what you're doing. Take your time and find that absolutely positively perfect shot, and then when you have it, hit the record button. Count to 10. Anyway, that's today's story and lesson. I hope you got something out of it. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.